1 week from today is Election Day Part 2. It's the same story in 2 Idaho cities. No candidate on election night got 50% of the vote in a split field. So the top 2 vote getters are going to go to a runoff. The city of Eagle and the city of Mountain Home, they're getting a little extra election action this fall, this winter. And in sports, they would call this overtime. But one of the most popular comments we've seen from you at home on the Eagle election: what separates the remaining 2 candidates in terms of their policies and views? Incumbent Mayor Jason Pierce and his challenger, City Council President Brad Pike, are the finalists in Eagle, so why not have them tell you in their own words? So part 1 of our Eagle mayoral runoff series. Today, I sat down with Mayor Jason Pierce. Tomorrow, we'll hear from Brad Pike. And the dynamic out of election night, it sits like this. Pierce earned 35.5% of the vote, Pike earned about 32%, and Stan Ridgway earned about 27%. So Pierce and Pike, they need to figure out how to appeal to the 27% that voted for neither of them. And that's where we pick up our conversation with Eagle Mayor Jason Pierce.
Well, so for us, it's not just going after those votes, right? I mean, we obviously have to get our message out. I think that's the tough part is that, there's been a lot of misinformation. And when you had 3 different people coming at me, as like I said, we did, you've got everybody kind of spewing the information at being not always correct. And so it's just about getting out there, and it's not just the Ridgway voters, but it's also the Pike voters that might be changing their mind when they, I didn't realize that that's how it was. Oh, I believed this. I didn't, And so we're getting that a lot.
The Eagle police contract is something that was very much talked about in this room during City Council. Here a few days away from the election, what do you want people to know about your thoughts on the contract going forward and kind of how that all went down?
Yeah, well, we're always going to be fighting for what's best for the resident taxpayers of Eagle. And so we were in discussions with the Sheriff's Department about some things that we thought could be changed and done a little bit better. But since I've been mayor, we've raised the police contract 24%. We've added to our budget for policing. We've added 4 new officers. We've added a community officer. There's a lot of things we've been doing. And our contract with the Sheriff's Department is incredible. I mean, that type of relationship, and to have those folks being the Eagle Police, I think is a gigantic advantage for our residents in our city.
How do you, balance investing into law enforcement and then also making sure you protect your budget?
Yeah, I mean it's difficult, right? You've got to look at what's best for the community, both financially and safety-wise, and of course, safety is always going to be the #1 thing. And so if you look at what we've done over the last 4 years, we've always done what the Sheriff's Department has come to us with the budget and asked for.
What do you think your biggest accomplishment has been as mayor over the last 4 years?
Wow, we've done a lot of really good things. Believe it or not, even though the controversy with Avamore is one of those things that I think has been a huge benefit to the community long term. Right, for the next 50 or 60 years, we have set the densities today at what that's going to be. And if you look at where people have moved from, if you've even looked at this area, densities don't get less over time. So for us to be able to set that in stone, and 75% of the land that we annex to be left as open space for the public, I mean, that's gigantic.
What's your assessment on the growth of Eagle over the last 4 years and the speed of it?
Well, so being here for the last 20 years and seeing a lot of the different growth over time, it comes in spurts. And for us, I wish we could build the wall and we could say, hey, no more, we're not going to grow anymore. But unfortunately, private property rights are very important to folks in Idaho. And so what we've got to do is just make sure we stick to the comprehensive plan that we've put together for the city long term. And with that, if you look at some of the projects that we approved, almost all of them have been at the lower numbers that are in the comprehensive plan for developers to be able to develop. So usually there'll be a range like 2 to 4 units per acre, and we're having them come in at the 2 unit, not at the 4 unit, right? We're seeing projects that might be able to go into Star, and Star usually has more density in their projects than we do. So we want it to come into Eagle because it's going to be built in the same place. It's just who gets the tax dollars, and then who ultimately gets to decide how dense it is and how much open space. And once again, I'll go back to, I don't think anybody does it as well as Eagle in that kind of way.
So coming up tomorrow here on the 208, we will hear from Mayor Pierce's opponent, City Council President Brad Pike, in a similar format to we just watched. And that was only a section of our conversation with Mayor Pierce. So this conversation and the one we'll have tomorrow, both will be aired in depth on Viewpoint. We'll compare and contrast and let you hear in depth both candidates talk in their own words. And thanks to both of them for their time this week during the busy election cycle.